Who's in heat? Is someone in heat? Huh? It's hot now. It's hot now. Yeah. Get out of the wind and it's not so cold anymore. Good morning. Kidding season 2022 has started. Well, in a way. So I'm ultrasounding a bunch of does today. This is Penny. The first one I did was blueback. I can only see a single on her. But I thought I'd show you kind of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it if anyone stumbles across this that has a machine and isn't sure how to start using it without any training. The first couple of years were just trial and error. And now we feel pretty confident in it. We can't really count. We try every year, but it's usually not accurate. A lot of people say to ultrasound in front of the udder, and they also say that you don't have to shave that area. Well, for one, we don't have block ultrasound in front of the udder, and for two, you most certainly would have to shave that area. I don't know what kind of goats they have. So we like to ultrasound up underneath their leg, just to the side of the udder. It does make it more difficult if they're still milking, but you can do it. In our case, this year, these ones are all dry. And on some does, they're pretty bald up there, and there's less of a chance you have to shave them, but I just shave them all anyway, because you do get a better view. So I'm going to go ahead and shave her. Works best if you hold her right here, so if she tries kicking, you can pinch down on this tendon here and kind of stop her. Good job, Penny. So then, you take your probe and you put some gel on it. I don't know where my gel is. And they say you can use alcohol too, but I don't really see how you're going to make alcohol stay on there. There's enough of it. So we use this gel. I think we find it off Amazon. And basically, it's really hard to show you because I'm up there and you can't see, but basically I'm going to put it about right here on the inside of her leg. And then to kind of look around, I'll go back and forth, but I'm kind of aiming it up toward her tail. And I'll also kind of turn it inward They don't really like that because then you're pushing against their legs. A lot of times lift up their leg. But I don't know of a better way to do it, so that's what I do. These are the settings I use. I pretty much don't change them. Sometimes if I'm just having fun and I'm wanting to look at kids more closely, I'll zoom in or whatever, but that's pretty much what I use. So what we're looking for are round sacks, like that. But now we have to find a kid in it, otherwise it doesn't count. Because you could just be seeing cross-section. Because if we count all the sacks here, she'd be having quads. So that's not how it works. I think I saw a kid in this one. She doesn't want to show me kids in there. So you kind of just have to move around until you get a shape to form in the middle. So I'm seeing a kid in that one on the right. I think that's his cord kind of around the edge, kind of in a circle. And the kid is in the middle. Most of the time they're more contrasted than that. Not sure why this one's being a little more fuzzy. So usually when you see this many sacks, they are having more than one. However, these aren't all kids, they're just different angles of the uterus, so you're seeing through multiple parts, so you're seeing multiple sections. So you can't just count the sacks. You have to find kids inside them, which is kind of challenging on this doe for some reason. A lot of times all you have to do when they're not very clear, like in that case, is give them another week, and then you'll see the kids bright as day and be able to count them a lot better. So that's probably what I'll do with her. Let me see where she is now. She's right at a month. Oh, it's kind of zoomed in. Whoa! So we should be able to see the kids fine, but some of them just vary. I don't know if it's the size of the doe, how fat they are, whatever, but they just vary. So not too worried about it. I'll just see what I can see next week as well. So this doe is a week further along than the other ones, and you can see that huge kid on the right. You've got the sack, and then you have a big old kid right in the middle of it. This doe was just living with the buck, and I never actually saw her eat or get bred. We did see one day where her hind end was pasty, which a lot of times is the only sign they show when they're living with the buck. So we wrote that date down. And this is where an ultrasound comes in extremely handy, is now we can confirm that she is pregnant, and we can kind of tell by the size around what date that is. And we can't be very precise, but we can get a little bit of a look at it. So I already did scan her, but I'll scan her again and show you what I saw. So she got tons and tons of holes. What we're looking at in the upper left hole, we can see this form appear in the middle, and then it kind of hooks to the side, and it's hard to really see. That's a kid. That's what we're looking for. In these other holes, we don't see anything in them. So there's a kid in that hole. If we look down lower, on the lower right, there's a kid in that one. And on the lower left, there's a kid in that one. Focus quickly. So on the lower right, if you see that, okay, there you can see that kid on the lower right. It's right in the top of that circle, in the bottom part of that round spot, right, kind of right in the middle lower. That's a cord you see there, that kind of thin line. So and then the kid is kind of hooked to the top of the wall, so it's hard to see it exactly, but. And then right above it is into the other sack. There's another kid. Pretty sure that's another one, that bottom left sack. It's hard to see. So you can kind of see that one on the lower right better now. He's kind of hooked to that wall, but I think you can see the shape of him. Basically, the only way we tell age is to compare to the ones that we know are bred on that day, or near that day, and what size they are. And I think this is right on for what we have her written down for, which is, I don't know. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 5 weeks. I'm gonna look right on for that. I need to take a minute to acknowledge this little girl. She is such a good girl. And this is the first time I think she's ever been in a milk stand at all. She didn't quite get up, but she was willing to try anyway. She wasn't too bad when I shaved her. She was especially good when I ultrasounded her. A lot of times these babies, that's what she is. She's a baby. She's only from the spring, so a lot of times these babies, when you're ultrasounding them, they wiggle around and then you lose your view, but she is a good girl. You take after your mom, huh? You are a very good girl. Yeah. Such a good girl. Walked over here nice on a leash. You're getting lots of keeper points right now. Yes, you are. You hoggy Bluebell kid. Imagine, Bluebell's kid found some food. It just makes you forget your fears, I guess. You're funny.